Long before the modern state of Qatar existed, the land was part of a larger economic world. This world was connected by trade and a shared Islamic heritage. In these early times, commerce was conducted using special coins. The most important of these were the silver dirham and the gold dinar. These coins were not just from one place. They came from various Islamic caliphates and empires that controlled the region over many centuries. The circulation of this money shows that the Arabian Gulf was a busy hub for merchants, travelers, and pearl divers, connecting distant lands through a network of exchange. The silver dirham was the workhorse of daily transactions. It was used to buy food, pay for services, and trade local goods like pearls and dates. Its value was based on the weight and purity of its silver content. This made it a reliable form of money across a vast geographical area. Archaeologists have found these ancient coins in the region, providing physical proof of this extensive trade history. Each coin tells a story, bearing inscriptions that often name the ruler and the mint where it was made. This helps us understand the political and economic influences that shaped life in the Qatar Peninsula hundreds of years ago. On the other hand, the gold dinar was used for larger, more significant payments. Think of it as the currency for major business deals or for paying taxes to powerful rulers. Gold was rare and highly valued, so dinars were not used by everyone for everyday shopping. Their presence in the region signifies the wealth that flowed through the Gulf. This wealth came from international trade routes that linked the Middle East with India, Africa, and beyond. The flow of both silver dirhams and gold dinars created a stable monetary system that supported a thriving economy for a very long time. This system of using dirhams and dinars lasted for centuries. It was a shared tradition across much of the Islamic world. For the people living on the Qatar Peninsula, these coins were a familiar part of life. They represented stability and a connection to a wider cultural and economic sphere. The legacy of this ancient coinage is important. It set a precedent for using precious metals like silver as a basis for money. This tradition would echo in the future when Qatar eventually created its own modern currency, linking its present to its distant, prosperous past. As the influence of the old Islamic empires faded, the monetary landscape in the Gulf began to change significantly. By the 19th and early 20th centuries, Qatar was not using its own unique coins. Instead, its economy relied on a mix of foreign currencies that came from the major powers of the time. The most dominant of these was the British Indian rupee, due to the strong political and trade connections with British India. Alongside it, people also used other coins like the Maria Theresa thaler, an Austrian silver coin that was surprisingly popular throughout the Middle East and Africa for its consistent silver content. This period was marked by a lack of a single, unified currency. Imagine a shopkeeper in a souk in Doha having to accept and calculate values for several different types of money in a single day. This made trade more complicated than it needed to be. The value of each coin could fluctuate depending on global events or changes in the price of silver. This situation reflected Qatar's position at the time, a place of strategic importance, but without the full political independence to establish its own national monetary system. The money in people's pockets was a direct reflection of the foreign influences shaping the region. In 1959, a specific version of the Indian rupee was introduced to simplify things. This was called the Gulf Rupee. It was issued by the Reserve Bank of India specifically for circulation in the countries of the Arabian Gulf, including Qatar. The Gulf Rupee looked very similar to the Indian rupee, but was a different color and could not be used in India. This was done to stop gold smuggling between the Gulf and India. For a few years, the Gulf Rupee became the standard currency, bringing some order to the complex monetary situation that had existed before. However, the era of the Gulf Rupee was short-lived and faced a major crisis. In 1966, India devalued its currency. Because the Gulf Rupee was directly linked to the Indian rupee, it also lost a significant amount of its value overnight. This sudden economic shock caused a loss of confidence in the currency across the Gulf. For the rulers of Qatar and its neighbors, this event was a powerful wake-up call. It became very clear that relying on a foreign currency made their economies vulnerable. A change was urgently needed to protect their growing wealth and to take control of their own economic destiny. The devaluation of the Gulf Rupee in 1966 created an immediate currency crisis. The region needed a new, stable form of money, and it needed one fast. In a remarkable act of regional cooperation, the rulers of Qatar and the Emirate of Dubai came together to find a solution. They signed an agreement to create a shared currency. This new currency was named the Qatar and Dubai Rial. It was a historic moment, representing a move towards economic self-determination. For a brief period, the two states decided to use the Saudi Rial as a temporary measure, while their new coins and banknotes were being prepared. The Qatar and Dubai Rial was officially introduced in September 1966. This new currency was backed by the strength of both states, which were beginning to see immense wealth from oil and trade. The coins were notable because they were made of silver, continuing the long historical tradition of using precious metals for money in the region. The value of the rial was set at the same level as the old Gulf Rupee before its devaluation, which helped restore public confidence. This joint currency was a practical solution to a pressing problem, but it was also a symbol of a new era of Gulf cooperation. The coins of this period are fascinating pieces of history. They physically represented the union between Qatar and Dubai. The banknotes had the names of both governments printed on them. The coins, which were issued in denominations like 1, 5, 10, 25 and 50 dirhams, were used for all daily transactions. This shared currency facilitated smooth trade and travel between Qatar and Dubai, which were both growing rapidly. It was a system that worked well for several years, providing the economic stability needed during a time of significant political and social change across the entire Arabian Gulf. This monetary union, however, was destined to be a temporary chapter in the region's history. The political landscape of the Gulf was evolving quickly. In 1971, several emirates, including Dubai, joined together to form the United Arab Emirates. As part of this new federation, Dubai adopted the new UAE dirham. This political development naturally brought the Qatar and Dubai currency union to an end. In 1973, Qatar moved forward to establish its own, fully independent currency, marking the final step in its long journey towards complete monetary sovereignty and national identity. In 1973, following the dissolution of the currency union with Dubai, Qatar took a monumental step. It established the Qatar Monetary Agency, which is now the Qatar Central Bank, and introduced its own independent currency, the Qatari Rial. This was more than just a change of money. It was a powerful declaration of Qatar's status as a sovereign nation. The new Qatari Rial was divided into 100 dirhams, just like its predecessor. The initial coins were minted in materials like bronze and cupro-nickel for everyday use, a practical choice for a modern, circulating currency that needed to be durable and affordable to produce. While the everyday coins were made of base metals, Qatar did not forget its deep historical connection to silver. The Qatar Central Bank soon began to issue special commemorative coins, many of which were struck in pure silver. These coins were not intended for daily shopping. Instead, they were created to celebrate important national events, honor significant anniversaries, or showcase Qatar's rich culture and heritage. For example, silver coins have been minted to mark milestones like the anniversary of the country's national day, to celebrate major sporting events like the Asian Games, or to highlight unique aspects of Qatari wildlife and traditions. These silver commemorative coins serve a vital cultural purpose. They are miniature works of art that tell the story of Qatar. Each design is carefully chosen to reflect a piece of the national identity. They might feature an image of the emir, a depiction of a traditional dhow boat, a majestic oryx, or the stunning architecture of a new museum. For collectors both in Qatar and around the world, these silver coins are treasured items. They are tangible links to the country's history and its modern achievements, beautifully crafted in a precious metal that has been part of the region's economic story for over 1,000 years. The evolution of Qatar's coinage, from ancient Islamic dirhams to modern commemorative silver rials, mirrors the nation's own journey. It is a story of moving from being part of larger empires to being a crossroads of foreign influence, and finally, to becoming a strong and independent state with a distinct identity. The currency in a citizen's hand is a daily reminder of this national journey. The shimmering silver of a commemorative coin is not just a piece of metal, it is a symbol of pride, a celebration of heritage, and a lasting legacy for future generations to admire.